It's time now for Real Estate Update. With Usha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty, real estate is our world.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this another exciting segment of the weekly real estate update with Usha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty. With that, welcome to the show, Usha.
Thank you so much for having me on the show, Ms. Chandra and Australian Indian Radio.
Well, it's always wonderful to have you on the show, and today let's talk about what's been happening out there with the clearance rates across the nation. As we know, there's quite a lot of talk in the markets about market being, stabilizing after the interest rate announcements, and of course, when the balloon sort of burst and it came down to the level. So what are the levels at this point in time?
Yes, looking at the results, it's a bit better result this week. At 69.7%, Sydney records its strongest preliminary clearance rate since mid-April. Auction activity fell minus 2% across the combined capitals last week, with 1,883 capital city homes taken to auction. The previous week saw 1,921 homes go under the hammer, while this time last year auction activity was significantly stronger, with 3,292 homes auctioned across the capitals. With 63.7% of the 1,468 results collected so far, returning to a successful result, the combined capitals recorded the strongest preliminary clearance rate since late May, 63.7%. Across the smaller capitals, Brisbane minus 40.7%, Canberra minus 29.6%, and Perth minus 41.4% saw the weekly auction numbers fall last week, while Adelaide recorded a slight rise in auction activity, plus 0.6%. Adelaide hosted the busiest week amongst the smaller capitals, with 156 homes taken to auction, followed by Brisbane 131 and Canberra 114. Adelaide recorded the slowest preliminary clearance rate, early August 65.6%, with 66.3% auctions reported successful result, while Canberra's and Brisbane's preliminary clearance rate came down at 60.9% and 43% respectively. In Perth, results for 10 auctions have been collected so far. Half have returned a successful result. No auctions were held in Tasmania last week. So that's the results of the preliminary auction results. At 69.7% in Sydney, recorded quite high results there compared to the previous weeks.
Looking at that, the results are not bad, and I'm a little bit surprised by Brisbane, which was the second in the busiest when they look at the busiest smaller capitals. So Brisbane had 131 auctions with the clearance rate of 60.9%. That's pretty good results out there, I should say. Well, right now, let's take a look at what they relate to in terms of clearance rate and the number of auctions and uncleared auctions all throughout the nation.
Yes, looking at capital city auction results, Sydney 69.7%, which was the highest for a number of weeks. Melbourne is 61%. Where 764 homes were taken to auction and 388 sold, and Sydney was 701 properties were taken to auction and 404 sold under the hammer. Brisbane 43%, 131 properties were taken to auction and only 40 sold. Adelaide 66.3%, 156 properties were taken to auction and 59 sold under the hammer. Perth is 50%, 17 properties were taken to auction and only 5 sold. Tasmania, as we spoke, not applicable, not a single property was taken to auction in Tasmania. Canberra is 60.9%, 114 properties were taken to auction and 42 sold. Looking at the average of the combined capital cities, 63.7%. 1,183 properties were taken to auction and 938 sold under the hammer. So looking at the results, I mean, apart from Sydney has increased, otherwise everywhere else is pretty down.
But they're pretty good results. 404 cleared auctions in Sydney and 388 in Melbourne. They by far outweigh any other cities, because those two cities have always been pro-auction ones, and the auction method of sale there is more a preferred method, I think, and our local mums and dads here are a little bit more lean towards private treaty. Well, looking at all of those, what does it relate to the monthly change in the property sales and values? Let's look at throughout the nation.
Yes, let's have a quick look at the monthly change. The monthly change is a bit better. Sydney is minus 1.2%. Melbourne is 0.7%. Brisbane is minus 1.8%. Very down there. Minus 0.2% in Adelaide. And Perth is 0.3%, minus 0.3%. And the combined capitals is minus 1%. So that's the result of monthly change.
So it's quite interesting to see the monthly change, and very soon we'll compare that to the yearly change. Looking at the monthly change, Brisbane has got minus 1.8, so the biggest drop has been in Brisbane. What it means is that the prices before would have been quite inflated. Well, it would be quite interesting to see if you can give us the figures of what that relates to in terms of the yearly change.
Yes, let's have a quick look at the 12-month change. Minus 9.2% in Sydney, minus 5.9% in Melbourne. Brisbane is still plus 7.7%. Adelaide is pretty steady, plus 16.3%. Perth is plus 3.9%. And so the combined capital cities is minus 3.8%. where we are looking at Sydney and Melbourne. That's quite a lot of minuses there. So that's the result for the 12-month change.
Once again, it is quite interesting, when you look at Brisbane, that's done 7.7% increase in the 12 months, but in the last month itself, it's just gone down. So it is quite interesting to see that in the 12 months, Sydney has taken the biggest dive at minus 9.2, while Adelaide has taken the biggest uptake at 16.3. So that's very interesting results out there. So looking and gauging at all those, let's look at what's happening in the market and what would the future look like, because the future is dependent on what sort of stocks are coming into the market. Based on that is what the predictions could be. So what's happening out there listing wise?
Yes, let's have a quick look at the capital cities properties listed and the 4-week count. Looking at the Brisbane market, 3,781 new properties have come on the market, and 4-week count is 14,695. Sydney is 6,547 new properties, 22,889. Canberra is 788 properties, new listings, and 22,226 in the 4-week count. Melbourne is 7,385 and the 4-week count is 27,890. So looking at Adelaide, 1,857 new properties have come on the market and 4-week count is 4,661. Darwin is 244 properties and 4-week count is 1,194. Perth is new listings is 4,177 and 4-week count is 14,241. Looking at Hobart, 366 new properties have come on the market and 4-week count is 1,223. So looking at the combined capitals, new listings for the week is 25,135 and 4-week count is 89,019. So pretty good listings are coming on the market. Looking at Melbourne, more listings. The last week was 6,000 and Sydney was in for 5,000 and it's gone up as well. So Brisbane is pretty steady in the 3,000s. So 89,019 new properties on the market.
So there's a steady influx of listings or the stock on the market, so which is quite good. Now the other thing is people always talk about problems getting into rental properties and that the rental properties are hard to come by. So has that scene changed a little bit? What is the situation there? What sort of rental listings have come on the market?
Yes, let's have a quick 4-week count and the new listings on rentals. Brisbane has got 4,355, large number of rentals coming on the market. 8,669 new properties in 4-week count. Sydney is 12,000. Look at the number in Sydney, number of listings in rentals, 12,000, double the sale market. 12,260, 26,795 new listings in 4-week count. Canberra is high as well, 978 new rentals and 1,908 4-week count. Melbourne is 10,564, really high there as well, 23,979. Looking at Darwin, 319 new rentals, 680 is 4-week count. Perth is 3,042 and 4-week count is 5,846. Hobart is 319 new properties and 584 is in the 4-week count. Looking at Adelaide, 1,510 and the 4-week count is 2,759. So looking at the combined capitals, 33,347 new rentals have come on the market and 71,220 in the 4-week count. Looking at in our area on the north side of Brisbane, rentals have, the prices of rental homes have come down and there's less people coming to open houses. So it shows that the rental market has, is gone down a little bit compared to the number of listings and compared to the number of tenants applying for the property. So we had to drop a couple of prices of our own rentals to meet the market.
So that is the market adjustment period when the demand sort of slows down a little bit. But previously it was sort of quite high there. It was quite insane, the numbers, and well, people were offering more than the listed prices or asking prices. Well, having a look at all of those, let's just sweep across the nation and take a look at what the change in rents have been and what sort of as an investor, what sort of growth yields people are getting. And it's very interesting that you talked about vacancy rates. So let's look at vacancy rates as well throughout the nation.
Yes, looking at the Sydney market first, the medium rent in Sydney is $670 per week and the 12-month change is 10.4% and the current rental yield is 3.01%. Melbourne is $499, is gone up by $2 and the 12-month change is 9% and the yield is gone up in Melbourne as well, 3.14%. Brisbane is $578 per week, pretty steady rental there, and the 12-month change is 13.5%, and rental yield is 4%. Adelaide, looking at Adelaide market, $513 per week is their medium rental price, and 12-month change is 13%, and 3.88% is their current yield. Looking at Perth, $538 per week and 12-month change is 9.6% and yield is 4.58, quite high yield there as well. Hobart is $550 per week and 12-month change is 6.8% and current yield is 3.96%. Looking at Darwin, 4.8%. Looking at Hobart Darwin now, $591 per week, quite high rent there, and the 12-month change is 5.9%. And look at the yield over there, 6.27%, very high rental yield. Canberra is $679 per week and 5.9% is the 12-month change and their rental is 4.01%. And looking at the combined capitals, 566 is the medium rental price, quite high actually, and 10.3% is the 12-month change, and 3.4% is the rental yield. Combined regionals is $494 per week, is steady in the regional market, and 9.3% is the 12-month change, and 4.38% is their current rental yield. So looking at the rent, national is $546 per week, and the 12-month change is 10%, and current rental yield for the nation is 3.65%. So the yield is still pretty good there. I mean, compared to the previous week, we saw that there's more listings coming on the market, and the price is being adjusted, but the yield is still quite high.
Well, looking at the national average of $546 medium rent, Melbourne is not doing very well as $499. So, that sort of paints a picture. We have seen the number of listings that have been coming on there, lots of auctions happening, but the rental, yield is not that great. So it means that there might be less number of people looking for properties as they're moving towards up north. They're moving this way. So that's a pretty good picture that it paints, right? Well, right now also every week we take a look at what's been happening around the nation in terms of top sales. So we always look at Queensland rather than the whole country. So what's been the top sales in Queensland region for this period?
Yeah, extremely good news. Queensland, 49 Union Street, Clayfield in Brisbane. That's 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and 2 cars. That's sold for $6,870,000. So quite a huge listing, a huge price they've got. Very good price for Clayfield. And then the other second property is Majriba, which is 22 Lagoon Way in Majriba. 8 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and 3 cars. $6,150,000. So that looks like a beautiful property, maybe in acreage or whatever. It looks really huge, and $6,150,000. So very good results for Queensland.
And that is sort of insane. 6.8 and 6.1. Gone are the days when properties, if someone paid $500,000 or $600,000, they say, wow, how much did they pay? Almost $500,000. And now 6.8 without a glitch, people pay for property as well. Of course, Union Street in Clayfield is quite up high there, so beautiful views probably from there. People have been capitalizing on that. Well, right now, towards the ending, the conclusion of the show, I would like to get a report from your area.
Yes, looking at the north side of Brisbane in Boondall, Tiger Mall, that surrounding areas, the listings are coming slowly. We have done a couple of appraisals. We are doing one appraisal today, and hopefully we'll be getting that listing. We have already rented quite sales. We have just done one sale last week, and that is at 13A Beata Street. That one is gone under contract, and a first home buyer has bought that property, so it will be they'll be moving in about 45 days time. So that's a sale for the week. And open houses, we did 13A Beata Street last week, but we will be doing one unit number 2, number 11 Pine Tree Close, and we'll be doing it 272 Muller Road. And so that's the 2 open houses we are doing. Rentals, we have rented out 112 Muller Road, 51 Florimi Street last week, and so they both had to meet the market. They had to drop the price by $20 each to get the right tenants in the property. So both of them are rented for the week. And so we are looking at Community Connect. We are in Virginia. The newsletter has come from Virginia State School, so we're supporting Virginia State School, and they're doing their fund run as well, so we are supporting them, and we have been in their newsletter for 12 months. And we are always supporting the local schools and local football clubs. So whatever we do in the community, that just reflects that we have been in the industry for 33 years in the area, and we are always supporting the local communities.
And it is wonderful to see that community connection. And did you not have something to do with some swimming and some swimming lanes?
Yes, yeah, we are doing that as well. I'll be talking about that next week. And we'll talk more about that Bundel State Schools swimming lessons as well.
Okay, not trying to jump the gun there, but once again, you said it's been wonderful to have you on the show here and providing us with that much needed, insightful into the real estate industry. As we know, our community is always very interested in finding out what's happening, what are the trends. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Usha Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.